So, what would be Marvel's next movie after a colossal Avenger sequel? Apparently Ant-Man. But could something so minuscule and ridiculous work on the big screen? Well, I believe it could if you have someone like Edgar Wright directed, unless he leaves for reasons surrounding creative differences. And sadly, it did occur. However, could the final product still be enjoyable under new direction? I say yes, but on to the story first. Scott Lang, played by Paul Rudd, is a convict who's released from jail and wants to start anew, desiring to be there for his daughter more. But he can't seem to hold on to a job due to his criminal record. Apparently Baskin-Robbins always finds out. So he decides to go on another heist with his team. He ends up in the home of a scientist named Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas, and comes across a suit that can make him shrink but also gain a lot of strength. Pym offers Scott an opportunity of redemption by helping him steal a suit made by a protege of his, played by Corey Stoll, who figures out Pym's formula for shrinking. Again, like almost every movie in the MCU, this one is very well casted. Paul Rudd is just as enjoyable as you thought he'd be. His reactions to everything when he shrinks in the suit are particularly humorous. Michael Douglas also does really well as Hank Pym in the role of mentor to Scott. His dialogue talking about ants and science nonsense may seem silly on paper, but he delivers it in a credible way. The movie even starts with a flashback with him, and the CGI that made him look younger was amazing. Movies in the past decade have tried to use CGI to de-age people, but here I felt they really perfected it. On a side note, in the flashback you also have John Slattery back as Howard Stark, and Hayley Atwell back as Peggy Carter in her late 60s or early 70s. Is it weird to say that I think she still looks stunning? Nah, I don't think it is. Don't judge me! The supporting cast includes Michael Pena as Scott's partner Luis, who is also very funny. I really like how upbeat he is and how he tells stories of getting word of opportunities for heists from this guy who knew this guy who knew this guy who knew this guy who knew this girl, and so on. You also have Evangeline Lilly as Hank Estranged's daughter Hope. Amongst the female characters in the MCU, I felt Hope was an underrated character. She plays a strong role in the main heist of the movie, and her relationship with Michael Douglas is done very well, in how it mirrors how much Scott wants to be a better father to his own daughter. Plus, another reason why I really like her probably has to do with my fondness for Canadian women. But I digress. Anthony Mackie makes a cameo as Falcon, and he and Ant-Man have an enjoyable fight scene together. The effects accurately show the huge scale of an ant's point of view, more precisely an Ant-Man. Seeing small mundane items like a Thomas the Tank Engine train enlarge is highly amusing. Again, the villain is not a great one, being an unhinged businessman. Doesn't that sound familiar? Though there's one scene where he turns a doubtful co-worker into goop and flushes him down the toilet. The way he acts so casual about it is pretty funny. But he's just another generic antagonist. Compared to him, Ultron was a slightly better villain for having a unique personality. For a robot. But he has done something so evil that it can't be forgotten. He killed Anthony! Curse you, Marvel, for making me feel for a talking tree and an ant. To sum it all up, I had little expectations for Ant-Man, but after watching it, I was pleasantly surprised that it didn't have any shortage of action, humor, and style. Perhaps Edgar Wright's vision would have been better, but for what it is, it's a decent Marvel film and not a complete waste of time. and I'm grateful that the studio gave Edgar Wright credit for doing the story and screenplay. Ant-Man gets my modest approval.